morning students. Gross anatomy of mastoid antrum. So therefore, this mastoid antrum will be under first point, definition, and second point will be boundaries, and third point will be applied anatomy. So therefore, definition. Mastoid antrum, other name of mastoid antrum is tympanic antrum. So mastoid antrum is air-filled cavity. It is an air-filled cavity, and this air-filled cavity will be present. I'll just draw it in now. This is an air-filled cavity. So it is called an air sinus, which is present in the petrous portion of temporal bone. Present in petrous portion of temporal bone, air sinus. It is a posterior extension of tympanic cavity. So therefore, this communication will be through adytus to tympanic cavity or adytus to mastoid antrum. It is rather known as adytus to mastoid antrum. From which side? From this cavity, and we draw a very rough representation, rough diagram, tympanic cavity. So therefore, posterior extension of tympanic cavity through adytus to mastoid antrum, in which epitympanic recess, epitympanic part of tympanic cavity will communicate with mastoid antrum. Therefore, this is our mastoid antrum, air-filled sinus in petrous portion of temporal bone. Now, this mastoid antrum will be at adult size. It will be of adult size at birth. Please note down. The measurement of mastoid antrum will be around 10 mm. Size of it will be 10 mm. It will be of adult size at birth. Now we come to boundaries. Just as we have discussed the boundaries in middle ear cavity, same way we are going to discuss boundaries in mastoid antrum. We start with roof. As we had started with the roof of the tympanic cavity. The first structure in the roof will be, there will be a plate of bone, and that plate of bone will be known as tegmen tympani. So this is tegmen tympani, roof. Above the tegmen tympani there will be middle cranial fossa, in which there will be temporal lobe of brain. These are the relations of roof. Then we come down to floor. Floor portion will contain very small intercommunicating spaces. This is how you have to make very small intercommunicating spaces, and these spaces are known as the mastoid air cells. These mastoid air cells in the floor of mastoid antrum will communicate with the mastoid process. So therefore, this entire structure will be mastoid process. This is the floor, and these are the mastoid air cells. So this is the floor. Very important. Roof, floor, anterior wall. Anterior wall in the upper part, adytus to mastoid antrum. In the lower part, this segment, here there is an important vertical bony canal, if you recollect, in the tympanic cavity, which has the presence of this nerve, facial nerve. So facial canal will be present anteriorly. So therefore, here we will give the name here as facial canal. Present inside is facial nerve. Now we come to posterior wall. Posterior wall will have presence of, there will be sigmoid sinus, deep inside, sigmoid sinus. This sigmoid sinus is separated from the posterior wall by a thin plate of bone. This is the posterior relation. Please note down. So posteriorly, the entire mastoid antrum will be related to sigmoid sinus, which is present intracranially, but it is separated from sigmoid sinus by a piece of bone, small piece of bone, posterior. Then medial. lateral side. If you go deep inside, medial, this mastoid antrum will be related with convexity of lateral semicircular canal. So medially there will be convexity of lateral semicircular canal. Now the last boundary, lateral. What is present laterally? Laterally, this entire portion will have presence of very important triangle. For example, if I show you this triangle, this is how the triangle will be formed. So, this triangle which is formed, this is a very rough representation, this triangle which is formed is called suprameatal triangle. Very important, lateral boundary. So here I will name this triangle as suprameatal triangle, lateral wall. Suprameatal triangle is present in normal lateralis, we have discussed, posterior superior to the external acoustic meatus. Now this suprameatal triangle will be discussed in applied anatomy. So here we finish the boundaries, point number 2. Now we come to point number 3, applied anatomy. For that, please come on this side, we shift on this side. Here first, this is external acoustic meatus, this will be the external acoustic meatus, posterior wall. Now superiorly, this is supramastoid crest. There is a vertical tangent which will pass like this. And anterior-inferiorly, this is the line of posterior wall of external acoustic meatus. This triangle which is developed, suprameatal triangle, which forms the lateral wall of mastoid antrum, applied anatomy. Any infection in mastoid antrum, any kind of abscess in mastoid antrum, any kind of pus collection in mastoid antrum, surgical approach will be through suprameatal triangle only. In this surgical approach of suprameatal triangle, the surgeon has to take care about 3 important structures. Number 1, supramastoid crest, the uppermost boundary. It is at par with the floor inside, it is at par with the floor of middle cranial fossa. So therefore, deep inside there will be the inferior surface of temporal lobe of cerebral hemisphere. Second important point will be this margin, anterior-inferior. This margin will coincide with the bony facial canal. So facial nerve will come in relation with this margin, because we saw here that facial nerve is present anteriorly. So therefore, anterior-inferiorly, have to take care about facial nerve. Last margin, this is a vertical tangent passing from supramastoid crest towards the posterior part of the external acoustic meatus. Now this is the point where deep inside there will be sigmoid sinus. So this triangle, suprameatal triangle, whenever a surgeon is approaching mastoid antrum through this triangle for various type of surgeries, for maybe drainage of pus, abscess, etc., these 3 structures have to be taken care. And the name of this triangle, often it is asked in Viva, MCQs, other name of this triangle is Maceman's triangle. Spelling will be M-A-C-E-W-A-N-S, Maceman's triangle. So many times it has been asked in MCQs and Viva. What are the boundaries of Maceman's triangle? What lies deep to Maceman's triangle? What will be the structure lying anterior-inferior to it? What will be the structure which is lying posterior to Maceman's triangle? Why this suprameatal triangle or Maceman's triangle is important, etc. Here we complete the mastoid antrum. Now, one more point is left. We come back here. Please come on this side. Mastoid air cells. What are mastoid air cells? They are small intercommunicating air spaces which are communicating. What structures they communicate? The inferior wall of mastoid antrum with mastoid process. Inferior wall of mastoid antrum with the mastoid process. And these mastoid air cells, they start their development 2 years after birth. 2nd year after birth. And they are normally air-filled spaces, mastoid air cells. Based upon these mastoid air cells, the entire mastoid process will be classified into three categories. The mastoid process which is present here, posterior to external auricle, which you can feel, and also that mastoid process which we have discussed during the demonstration of the skull. First category of mastoid process will be pneumatic. Only air-filled mastoid air cells are present. Second category of mastoid process will be sclerotic, where instead of these air-filled mastoid air cells, only bone will be deposited. And third category of this mastoid process will be mixed, in which there will be partial presence of air and partial presence of sclerotic tissue bone. This is the division of mastoid process based upon mastoid air cells. So here we finish our mastoid antrum.